Hey everyone, what's up? It's Finite MTG, and we are back with another Masters Edition 4 Flashback Draft. This one's going to be pretty straightforward, pack one, pick one. Just a nice demonic tutor. I think it's worth a few tickets as well. But I'll spend a second talking about some of the other nice cards in this pack. Water Elemental has impressed me. Ironhoof Ox is definitely solid. Lava Flow, really nice removal spell. But it's going to be a pretty easy demonic tutor for me. I think blue is probably the best color in this format, as I mentioned in my previous video, but I've had a really weird experience where it's almost better not to play blue just because of how many people are trying to play it, whether or not they know or think it's the best color, and I've almost always ended up playing red. So that's just something to note. My last deck was actually a mono red deck, so alright. Interesting pack here. Got Dakmor Plague, a nice sweeper sort of effect. It's a strong card, and that would keep us black. Otherwise, we have Prodigal Sorcerer, which is a very, very powerful card. A lot of powerful X1s in the format. This, of course, is one. Right next to it, there's also one, the Cloud Spirit, which I think is probably the best blue common. I think I'm just going to take this Prodigal Sorcerer, even though I just said blue is not always open. I think it's just a little bit too good. Better than the Dakmor Plague. I'm not too worried about staying black, and I think this card is just a little too strong to pass up on here. You can also play around some of the sweepers in this format once you've got some experience with it. Dread White, I think, is a fine card. I'd be happy to play it if it wheeled. This card, Obsianus Golem, not totally sure how to say it. I've been really impressed with it. It's a 6 mana 4/6. Make that a little clearer for you. And I'm almost always happy to put an extra one of those into my deck. Alright, so Aladdin. I just played with this card in my last draft. This format is very artifact heavy. Not all the artifacts are great. You see like an Urza's Chalice, Weak Stone, not very exciting, but Aladdin is just way too strong. 4 mana 1/1, so not exactly the best body, but then you get to pay 3 mana and then steal something. If you combine that with a way to sacrifice what you steal, just in case something goes wrong with Aladdin, it's just extremely powerful. Nice demonic tutor target as well. Otherwise, passing Spotted Griffin, Symbol of Unsummoning, Whiptail Worm, 7 mana 8/5 is pretty huge in this format. The Argothian Pixies have overperformed when I've seen them, but Aladdin is just insane. Alright, in this pack, probably the best card is either the Dakmor Plague or the Wild Griffin, which is effectively a Wind Drake. I'm going to be taking the Plague. I already have the Demonic Tutor, so that's a big reason to be black. We passed one of them earlier, and Wild Griffin, we're not in white yet, so don't really want to try to branch out there. Goblin Cavaliers, totally solid card. I'd be happy to put in my deck if it wheeled. Onulet, I think, is fine. Essentially just a worse version of the Cavaliers in my opinion, but yeah, we're going to be taking this Plague. Okay, so now we have a Clay Statue, a card that I think is pretty strong. It's a 4 mana 3/1. Don't love the 1 toughness on it, but just being able to put it into any of your decks and regenerate it is quite good. Book of Wrath, I've had kind of mixed experiences with. I think if you're an aggro deck and you have some life to play with, it can be a pretty strong card, but I wouldn't put it into the more controlling decks if you have a choice, and I think my deck right now is definitely one of the more controlling ones. Otherwise, this pack has Red Elemental Blast, a card that I think shines especially in this particular format because blue is so strong. But it's still a sideboard card. And yeah, it's just going to be a statue for me. Okay, so now we are seeing Alaborn Musketeer, totally serviceable white 2-drop, and Southern Elephant as the two best cards in this pack. I think I'd rather take the Elephant than the Musketeer. I think Elephant's a stronger card. If we wanted to try to commit to black-red, and I think it would be wrong to do this, you could take like a Goblin Firestarter, which is a playable card, but that card tends to go later than it currently is. And yeah, I'm not seeing a huge reason to play black or red based on this pack, so I think I'm just going to take this Elephant. Note that we had the one pick with multiple good blue cards, but we have not seen a good blue card since. And it's not because there are no good blue cards, it's because everyone's taking them. So just something to keep in mind. Now we're seeing another playable white card. in the Alaborn Trooper, so that's a bit of a punish there. Scavenger Folk, though, doesn't look great. In fact, it's quite hideous. I'll zoom in for you guys. But the card's actually solid. 1 mana, 1/1, which can blow up an artifact if you cash it in at some point. Could take a Squall for the sideboard, but I think the card is not great. Actually, we could take the Alaborn Trooper, but I think Scavenger Folk is fairly replaceable. Yeah, let's take this for the sideboard. We're not in white just yet. Okay. Seeing a Fork now. I think Fork is too far away from what we're trying to do. Could take a Crumble, could take a Goblin Bully. I don't think Goblin Bully is a good card, but it is a playable card. Kind of lacking direction at this point. Yeah, that's another thing with this format. The quality of your draft depends hugely on how experienced the people you're drafting with are. If you're drafting with people who know what they're doing, your deck is almost definitely not going to be very good. Now we can take a 4 mana 4/3 totally fine card. Could also take a weakness. Actually, I think the first weakness is probably better than the first 4 mana 4/3. Card is somewhat replaceable. Soldevi Machinist is kind of cool, but we're not doing that. Sarah Bestiary, I think the first one of these is fine, but once you start getting multiples, it's not very good. But yeah, I think weakness is okay, and we're going to see if we can end up black-red here. Another Goblin Bully. I don't love the card. I think I'd rather take the first Soldier. Divine Offering, totally solid card in the format. I would almost always main deck the first copy, unless you have a bunch of other artifact hate lying around. But yeah, I'm going to take the Soldier out of this one. Okay. Mentioned this before. If we wield this, I'd be happy, and I am happy. I think the card is much better than the Goblin Bully. And yeah, there's really nothing else for us here. Bird Maiden is one of those cards that you can side in against the blue decks that have a lot of 1 toughness flyers, but it's not a card I'm looking to main. Okay, Onulet now. Mentioned that one as well. It's just a playable card, nothing special. Scavenger Folk is fine, but I'm trying to move off of green if possible, so. Okay. So we have 0 white cards. We could take this Temple Acolyte, but I'll take the Sandstorm in case we like backdoor into green later. And Wood Elemental is an absolutely terrible card, but we'll take it just for fun. I don't think Gravebind is going into our deck. I don't like cards that basically just cycle the vast majority of the time. Okay, Black Knight is pretty strong. Champion Lancer is pretty cool. It's a 6 mana 3/3 though, so I think it's a little too clunky. Otherwise in this pack, there's not really a whole lot going on. A bunch of pretty medium creatures. The Glider's totally fine. Right, Black Knight it is. Ooh, man, this is a very good card to be passed. Wicked Pact. So, I think this is Ashes to Ashes, effectively, except I think that one says non-artifact, and it says Exile, but very, very similar effect. 3 mana, 2 of which are black. Get rid of 2 things. Very strong card. Yes, you do lose some life, but that's kind of how it goes. Passing a Foul Spirit as well. Did not expect that card to be particularly good, but it's overperformed for me. Let's read this rare just in case. Return it to its owner's hand. That is awful. It's 6 mana. Yeah, no. Easy Wicked Pact for me. Yep. Okay, now we're seeing a Dread White, which is a fine card. Ooh, and a Terror. Yeah, we're just going to be taking the Terror here. Grape Shot Catapult. I didn't used to think that card was main deckable. I've come up on it quite a bit. I think it's pretty good, especially if you can get multiples, then you can really start going off with it. But yeah, Terror is just premium removal in this format. Very, very good. Yes, there are a lot of artifact creatures that you won't be able to hit, but it's just very strong. Clockwork Swarm, Grape Shot Catapult, and Dread White. Definitely would be happy to wheel any of those, but yeah, it's going to be a Terror. Okay, now we've got a choice between a Foul Spirit and a Clockwork Swarm. I think this Cyclopean Tomb is kind of cute, but I think it's just too slow. Gradually color screws someone. I think I'd rather have this Foul Spirit here. Right now we have no flyers. I think the card is quite good. It's unfortunate because we're less likely to wheel the Swarm. The Swarm is a pretty strong card in this format. But yeah, I think the first Spirit is just a higher pick. Alright, in this pack, 3 mana 2/3 gives zombies Swamp Walk and lets them regenerate, which is pretty strong. I'm not sure how many zombies we're going to end up with. Otherwise, there's like Dark Ritual, which I don't think is very good. I think the Ebony Rhino is pretty bad as well. Urza's Miter, I think, is awful. Yeah, so you can't even sacrifice stuff to get that synergy to work. This isn't a zombie, right? Yeah, okay, so no zombies so far, but 3 mana 2/3, that's hard to cast, and potentially strong upside I think is just good enough here. Okay, a couple options here. I don't think we are going with this 9 mana 9/9, but it is a pretty funny card. I think the strongest card in the pack is the Just Fate, but the pick for me is between Dragon Engine and this Prowling Night Stalker. Kind of loading up on 3s here, and this is my second evasive creature, so I think I'm going to take that over the Engine, but I do really like Dragon Engine. It's not an amazing card, but it is definitely solid, makes your deck just about 100% of the time, so... Ooh, Lich. That's pretty spicy. Okay. So you die. If you would gain life, draw that many cards. Okay, so we can't gain life, so I don't think it's too interesting for us. Could take an Onulet, which I think is fine. Could also speculate on this Ironhoof Ox. We don't really have much in the way of strong red cards. Like we have Aladdin, which again I think is a major bomb. But I think the Onulet, like especially the second one, is just not a very exciting card. There's a chance green will be more open than red in pack 3. So just keep myself a little bit open by taking the better card here. That's frustrating. So now we have a pack with 2 fine green cards, the Southern Elephant and the Wild Ox. But we also have a Lava Flow, and I think now I'm just going to take the Lava Flow. I really like my removal, and I still think Aladdin is a very powerful card. Yeah, I mean, I don't have almost anything else. This is really tough. I have almost nothing else in red, so I'm like clinging to some double red cards. Actually, you know what? This is kind of a weird pick, but I think we're going to drop the Aladdin. Maybe we can board into it if we're against a deck with a lot of good artifacts, but I just don't think we're seeing enough of a reason to play red here. I really, really like the card. I don't think I can stress that enough, but now we get to benefit from some of these other nice cards. The Pixies, it's another strong one for sure. Okay, so we could take an Onulet, or we could take War Mammoth. I've already got a bunch of 4-drops, but I don't love Onulet. We have a Yoshin Soldier in the sideboard if we need to play another 3. I think we'll take the Mammoth. I think Onulet's just a little bit more replaceable, and even though we're loading up on 4s, I don't think Curve is as important as you would expect in this format. I don't love Amulet. I think it's pretty slow. I'm going to put it in the sideboard for now, but we'll see. We could end up in a place where we want to play it. Alluring Scent could be good for this deck. Put the Soldier back in for now, we'll see. And I guess we'll take Second Scent over the Flying Carpet. And Warp Artifact I think is probably unplayable. And Weak Stone. Weak Stone could be interesting, especially for a more controlling deck that kills with large threats. That's kind of the direction we're going here. Ooh, Volcanic Island. I'm going to have to do a price check on that one, but I think it's not a bad price. Yeah, so the Volcanic Island is over 10 tickets. We're definitely going to be taking that one here. Some notable good cards in the pack. The Rock of Care Ridges has been excellent whenever I've seen it. Phantasmal Forces has consistently been pretty impressive, though keep in mind the 1 toughness is a bit of a downside in this format. Soldevi Golem has been totally fine when I've seen it too. I'd be happy to wheel Pixies. Foul Spirit's good, but I don't think it's wheeling. And there's another Clockwork Swarm. Alright. In this pack, what do we have? We have like a Hasran Ogress, which I think is playable. Don't think it's particularly exciting. Veteran Bodyguard. Interesting. There's another Squall. We already have one of those for the sideboard. This thing's a zombie for the Zombie Master, but it's not. I don't think it's a particularly high pick. This is a nice 2-drop, and we're a little short on those, so I think we'll take it. Alright, this pack has 3 good red cards: Detonate, Rock Slide Ambush, and the Two-Headed Giant. Or Two-Headed Giant of Forest. Don't want to confuse it with the format. Just Fate in the pack as well. But I think I'm just going to take this Howl from Beyond. I think the first one's pretty good. Passing Counterspell, which is a good blue card. I don't think Scarecrow is very good. I think it's a little too clunky. What a ridiculous card. Yeah, okay, let's just take this Howl. Okay, so there's another Howl from Beyond, but I think this time we're taking Giant Growth. It's a really, really efficient pump spell, and there's almost nothing else for me here. So, fairly happy about this. I did want at least one of these, but we're not seeing a ton of good stuff in our colors this pack. Alright, in this pack, we have a nice Ironhoof Ox. I think that's going to be the best one for us here. I do like Clockwork Gnomes. I don't think it's a great card, but I think it's fine. Another Lava Flow, that could be strong. Weakness, I think the second one is not very exciting, so yeah, it's going to be a pretty easy Ox for me here. Alright, what do we have in this pack? A Sentinel Druid to come out of the sideboard. Brassman I don't think is really a card. Gauntlet of Might is pretty cute. Could hate draft that, but I don't think that's where I want to be. Tanos' Wand doesn't seem great. Yeah, I think we're just taking this for the sideboard. Alright, now we have a Primal Clay, card that I think is pretty good. There's also a Scavenging Ghoul, which is interesting. I haven't played enough with this card to know exactly how good it is. I do know exactly how good Primal Clay is, and this deck is a little bit short on flyers. That said, I think the Scavenging Ghoul could be pretty strong for us here. We have a bunch of removal, and what was I going to say? It can gain Swamp Walk with the Zombie Master, so this could be a mispick passing the Clay, but I'm going to try this instead. Now another Southern Elephant. I think that card is very strong. Gaia's Avenger. I think the card is okay. I think the Elephant is just a little bit too good, though. Really nice to see it go this late. Anything for us in this pack? Maybe a Staff of Zagon. Not a terrible card, though it is a very slow one. I think we'll start it in the sideboard, but we'll see. Okay, now we're seeing a Crumble. We don't have almost any artifact removal. We might have literal 0 at this point, so I think the first Crumble is a must. Passing Fog, Ebony Horse, which you can effectively use to give Vigilance. This pack, wow, that's a late Rock Slide Ambush. Very good removal spell, so that one will hop into the bin over here. This card is potentially pretty strong. So is this one. I think this one's actually easier to use, so we'll get rid of this. And Clockwork Gnome's going pretty late. I think it's going to start in the sideboard for us. We already have 4-drops, and I think almost all of them are better. Yeah, we'll take another one of these. I think this deck is totally solid. Not amazing, but not bad. So we could play 16 lands. I'm not opposed, but I think I would rather make a cut. So let's group things separately. Playing all of our 2s, I think. Could think about cutting like an Onulet or a Soldier, but we're pretty low on 3s. Definitely playing all the Elephants and the Clay Statue and the Oxen. And I think we're playing... We could play both of these 4-mana 2/2s. Doesn't feel amazing, but we'll come back to that. I think we're playing everything except for the Alluring Scent. We might not play that one. Howl from Beyond has actually not been very impressive for me either, but I think in this deck we're going to be aggressive enough that it'll be fine. And I want to try the scent too, so I think if anything we're going to cut a creature here. So let's take all of these out. Okay. I think we're going to start by putting the Prowling Night Stalker back, just as an evasive card. I think the War Mammoth could be better than the Scavenging Ghoul. Not totally sure about that. I think we're playing the 3s though. So it's between these two in terms of what we'll play. I'm going to try the Ghoul. The War Mammoth could be better. But I'm pretty confident everything else is correct in terms of how we built this deck. So now, just figure out a good number of lands of each color. 10-7. Not sure how I feel about that. So we have 3 double green cards. 7 is a little bit low. That said, we're not playing any of these early in the game, so it could be fine. We do have a couple double black 2-drops, a couple double black 3-mana cards. This is not an ideal mana base, but I think just because our double green, it's either going to be turn 5 or it's going to be to try to end the game, I think we can keep it like this. Not sure about putting Howl and the Alluring Scent in the same deck. Possible you only want one of that kind of effect, but I'm going to try it like this anyway. We'll see how it goes. Alright, we are back with round number 1. I'm going to play first. I did actually end up making one change to the deck. It's actually right here in my opening hand. We're going to keep this one, by the way. And that is, we are playing Crumble over the Alluring Scent to try to minimize the problems with double green, and because we just don't have any artifact hate in the main. So leading on Swamp, because we have 2 double black 2-drops. If we need, we can play Forest for the Crumble next turn, which I guess we'll do now. Cyclopean Mummy. Alright. So I have an incentive to try to trade these with the Scavenging Ghoul on the battlefield. So I think we'll try to do that next turn. Yeah. So right now, this is extremely uncastable, which is kind of funny. Hopefully they don't have a way to remove this. That could be a bit annoying for us. Okay, happy enough with this trade. Go back up to 18. See if they have a way to remove this or not. Okay, pretty medium. And now we have 2 regenerate things on it, so that's pretty good. I'm going to run out this clay statue, holding this thing back. No attacks, makes sense. Alright, play Swamp. I think we can attack with this clay statue. So our other creatures holding back both of their other threats. Alright, nice board stall here so far. Ooh, not a bad draw. Okay. Now I'm going to play this Southern Elephant and drop the land so we can hold up Crumble and the Regenerate here. Let's hope they don't have some kind of wrath for me. That would not be ideal. Particularly one that says something can't be regenerated. Terror. Well, nothing I can do about that. Ooh, and they timed this well. Now I don't get an extra counter here. Alright, they have a Clockwork Swarm. Probably going to crumble that. I can't see a clear reason not to. So let's just do it. Okay, another Southern Elephant. Not a bad draw. Oh, did I mistime that? I think I did. Yeah, I missed a counter on this by crumbling on end of turn. That was a mistake. Okay, Foul Spirit now. Ooh, that was a good draw too. Attack with both of these. However they block. If they do double block this, it gives me a 2-for-1. Could have a Just Fate on this. Alright, so they gave us the 2-for-1. That's totally fine. Get to play the Iron Hoof Ox, holding up the Regenerate. Going to put some more counters on this thing. And now this thing is going to be able to start attacking. In fact, I think that was a mistake. I should have attacked with this too. Just no clear reason not to. Okay, pretty bold attack from them. Can't say I totally understand it. They could have some kind of wrath, like a Rain of Daggers maybe. Sure. That's not good for me. Okay. I don't think this is lethal, but I'll do the math anyway. We're attacking for 5, and we could deal an extra 6, so no, we're 1 short. Just not ideal. Alright, go down to 12 here. And yeah, got plenty of ways to finish off this game. Let's attack. If we go to declare blockers, they cannot play the Just Fate, which has to be played during the declare attack step, so we can do this now. We can just do it for 2. That's lethal. Oh, they could have a thing to gain life, so let's just do it for everything. Alright, they had enough. In terms of game 2, what are we looking at? This card does not seem very strong. They've got a lot of black creatures, So I think we'll try the War Mammoth over that one. Squall does hit the 3-mana 3/2 flyer. It's pretty good. Could be totally fine to bring that one in. Didn't see too many targets for like the Crumble. Just didn't play very many cards. I don't want to take out Wicked Pact. I think the card is too strong. But depending on how this next game goes, might be something that happens. I think we're just going to run it back like this, though. Alright, pretty good hand for us here. We're not going to be able to play this Foul Spirit until we hit 5 mana, because we don't want to keep ourselves off of this. Okay. I would like to draw one swamp and then not draw another land for the rest of the game. Mummy, sure. Crumble, not a swamp, unfortunately. Okay. I don't really want to terror that, but we might have to here if we don't hit a swamp. Now I think we're just going to take 4 damage, because we can play the War Mammoth next turn. See if they give me a better target for the terror. Foul Spirit. That is annoying. Do have to sack a land. I'm just going to assume the War Mammoth is going to survive, and I'm not going to use the terror. Ooh, that's a good draw. I think I am fine playing this. If we draw a swamp here, we could potentially have a pretty brutal plague. Attack for 3 seems good. Okay, can we draw... that was not the land I wanted. I think I just need to hold back with this Ox. Yeah. Or, I'm sorry, with the War Mammoth, because if they have a terror for the Ox, then I'm just in a ton of trouble. That was a lot of damage. Yikes. I'm not dead, am I? I think not. But I am taking, again, a ton of damage. Let's do this, I guess. Yeah, and then I can't even... If we draw the swamp, we don't have lethal either. But I can go for Foul Spirit plus Terror if we draw the swamp, so it's not like I'm dead. Oh, I might be dead now. Yeah. Yeah, that makes it pretty tough. Okay. So lesson learned. They're pretty aggressive black-white deck. Dackmore Plague, again, would have been pretty good, but didn't quite get there. So we were thinking about Squall. I don't think there are enough targets for that. I don't think we want any of those. Clockwork Gnomes, I think, is probably too slow. I think I'm going to run it back like this. Yeah, I don't see any huge incentives to change anything, so let's just try this again. Alright, play first. We're going to keep this. It's a bit slow, not unlike our first hand. Lead on Swamp, of course. Ooh, Savannah Lions. Okay, that could punish me if... Yeah, we're still not drawing 2-drops. Pretty unfortunate. We do have a few in the deck. Yeah, they're kind of getting me here. I do get to do this, which is pretty nice. But we're still taking some damage. See what they have here. If they have a Foul Spirit, could be in trouble. Oh, okay. Not too bad then. Play the War Mammoth. Really need it to live. Oh, straight to combat. Interesting. I think they might have done that a little too quickly. Tanos's Wand. Interesting. I think if they're going to start spending mana to hit me for small amounts of damage, I'm pretty happy about that. I play this elephant. Pass the turn. Next turn we can play the clay statue. Dread white, excuse me. That is going to make it tough to attack for sure. Yeah, we're not in amazing shape here. Kind of need a giant growth to have good attacks. Also, blowing up the wand could be nice. Yep. I think my best draw here is the Wrath. I can attack with the 3/3, they block with the 3/4. Then I regenerate my thing and kill their board. Okay. Ooh, that was another good draw. I think I attack with everything. Is that crazy? I think I just do it. They do have a good block on that one there, but I think these can both attack. Okay, so now we get to howl this. We can pay 2, and that gets us an extra point of trample damage, and we get to play this with exact mana, so that seems right. So unfortunately we had to 2-for-1 ourselves, but I think ultimately it was worth it here. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So we really need to draw a spell here to have a chance in this game. The Wrath would still be absurd. I think that would straight up win me the game. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So now we block like this. We just remove a counter from this. Interesting that they did not double pump there. That could have been a mistake. We'll see. No, I guess not. Okay, let's draw the Wrath one time. That was not it, but it was a good draw. I think we now have an attack with, I guess, everything. Just have to hope they don't have that charge in hand. Yeah, I think we need to attack with everything here. Nice 2-turn clock now. Okay, they're taking it. They're going to have to start thinking about blocking or they're going to die. I guess Alluring Scent would be pretty good in this matchup. See what they have here. This is their last spell. That's pretty bad for me. Are we dead? 3 plus 4 plus 4. That is Exactsies? Oh, no, they have the pump with the... Yeah, no. Guess this was just not close. So, doesn't matter what we do. We can block here, and then we just die. 4, 3, and 4. Yeah, that'll do it. Unfortunate. Alright, we're back with round number 2. This hand is pretty bad. I think we can afford to mulligan it. Double green card. The old 4 swamps and no plays, really. Yeah, I think we're keeping this one. Don't really want to get rid of any of these cards. Could get rid of the Yoshin Soldier. Then we don't have any turn 3 play, and if they're aggro, that could be bad. I guess we'll get rid of this Night Stalker. Alright. Brass Man, hardly the most intimidating play ever. Though it is a mere 1 mana for a 1/3. Yoshin Soldier of their own, sure. Don't think I'm going to crumble that. Okay, now we can drop our own. Okay, they get to hit me for another 1 for the price of 1 mana. They could have a counterspell up here. I'm not too worried about it. Just jam the Southern Elephant into play. Okay, pass the turn. Then we can attack the 3/4 into the 1/4. They can block, and we'll go for a weakness on it. Okay. Attack again. Makes sense. Now we'll go for this. See if they want to counter that. That'd be pretty nice if they counter that and let this resolve, but it feels like, oh, well, I guess sometimes you just resolve both. Now we have Giant Growth and Crumble in the back. Feels like we're pretty far ahead. They've played nothing for a while. Reconstruction. Okay. Would I rather crumble that? Or weakness on mine. That's not good for me. I think I would rather crumble that than Giant Growth to get around it. So here's the deal. Crumble can hit artifacts that fly. I can really only think of one, where the Giant Growth can only kill that kind of thing in combat. I think I'm just crumbling this anyway. I mean, the fact that they have Reconstruction in their deck tells me they probably have a bunch of other artifacts. So I guess I actually changed my mind, and now I go for the Giant Growth. No reason not to attack with both. I assume they're doing this. Yeah. Not sure about this. They could have like a nice 5/4 or something like that that makes me regret this play. but I think on the surface it seems fine. Okay, there's a glider. Probably gonna crumble that. Yeah, I think we'll do that now. Okay, no reason not to attack with both. If we had kept the 4 mana 2/2 unblockable thing, we'd be in much better shape than we are right now. But that's okay. This gained us some life. Okay. That is not the 4 mana 2/2 that I wanted, but it's okay. Wow, no blocks. That does not seem correct. Counter, sure. It's not a very good card. Just basically says I get to get in for 1 more damage per turn. Okay, 1 card in hand now from them. Wicked Pact. That is a good one. I'm glad this one doesn't say non-artifact. Passing turn. That does not matter. Still get to attack with both. They don't have 4 power to put in front of either of them. Okay, that was not a bad draw. Alright, this trades for their 3-drop, which is something. Yikes. Okay. Kinda wish I had that giant growth right about now. Gladly discard the swamp. But yeah, don't know how I beat that card. I'm sure I have outs, but yikes. Yeah, I guess we're passing again. Good news is they don't really have attacks here. They just take way too much damage if they do, I think. Maybe that's not true. Onulet, okay. Maybe they attack with this. Yeah, now we can Wicked Pact. The weakest Wicked Pact ever. We might still have to do it though, depending. Ox. Darn. So that means I can't double spell. If I use the Wicked Pact, I die in 2 turns. My opponent goes to 12 life. They trade the Ogress for the Limb Duels, whatever. They take 4 damage. So they go down to 8. Because they're up to 12. What does that mean? What does that mean? So then they hit me. They hit me from 8 down to 3. Then I go from, what is it? I hit them, yeah, from 8 down. Basically, I lose that game, I think. Yeah, so I guess we are attacking with these things. I think this is correct. Just try not to use this Wicked Pact, because it kind of kills me. If I make this attack, they get to trade there, which is awful for me. So maybe just this attacks. Then I need to drop this. Well, I can't trade with both, right? Yeah, let's do that. It's not looking good. We might be dead. Yeah, okay. Sure. Now we drop this ox. They do effectively go to 9 because of the Wicked Pact. I think we're in okay shape here, but it's not good. Soul Ring. Okay, that's spicy, but it doesn't do anything. Okay. So if I play the Wicked Pact, I die next turn. So that's out of the question. So we're just attacking here. So what I expect to happen is... let's see. So we need to pay some mana. We really needed to draw a spell there. Drawing land, I think, is just death. So yeah, they make that trade. And then I think this should hop in front of the 1/4 this turn, and then next turn it should hop in front of the other one. But not sure it's going to matter here. They gain 2 life. Yeah. So we both have 2 turn clocks, but theirs happens first. They cycle. If they didn't attack, that would be like one of my only ways of winning the game. But I think they probably figured out they need to attack. Okay, we need to draw something here, whether it's like the Howl. Do we have any removal for a flyer? The Wrath would do it, or no, the Wrath would, that would make the game a draw, which is not terrible. Demonic Tutor. That is a Demonic Tutor. So I guess we do this. Let's see if they have a counter. So now we get to get the Howl, and that's game over. Howl from Beyond. Please don't have a terror for me. Cool. Getcha? Alright. Demonic Tutor. Working overtime. Let's see here. How do we beat that 5/4 flyer? Probably nothing in the sideboard. Maybe this thing. How good is that card? Is it just good? Is that possible? Feels like it's too clunky. I think I'm just going to run it back like this. Okay, another mulligan here. Gonna keep this one. Might be tutoring for a forest here. I think we'll bottom the ox though. Yeah, it looks like Demonic Tutor for a forest is the plan. Nice Sylvan Scrying. Yep. Alright, drew a forest anyway. Let's go for this Zombie Master, see if it gets countered. Looks like they're thinking about it, or at least reading it. Yep. Okay. The pixies are pretty brutal against that one. Could spend the giant growth here. I mean, I think we're attacking. If they want to block, they can get the giant growth out of our hand. Okay. Now we drop the pixies. Five mana. Clockwork Avian, that is a good one. Howl is pretty nice as well. I think we're going for... this is pretty close between these two. Guess we go for this. I think Clockwork Avian is a very strong card, by the way. Just compare these. So this is 2 mana 2/1 evasion. This is 4 mana 2/2 evasion. Okay. Drowned. That is pretty bad for me, actually. Yeah. Onulet. Okay. In the future, we might go for a Howl on this unblockable 0/1, which is kind of funny. Did they just not block this? Oh, we gave this Swamp Walk. That's pretty funny. But no, they 100% should have blocked that. This doesn't have Swamp Walk, so anyway. Resolves is nice. Yeah, I think that's the second block my opponent missed so far this match. Completely free block, that is. Okay, a 1/4. We might need to spend the Howl to get through that. The fact that they tapped triple black means they don't have any regenerates up. So this is attacking now. Okay, that's good for me, I think. Now what? So the fact that they tapped all their black mana really feels like a counterspell to me. So I think we attack with this. If it trades for the Drowned, we're relatively happy. Hilarious that it has the redundant regenerate text from the Symmetrical Lord over here. But yeah, I think I'm going to respect this counter rather than like run into it by planning on playing the Howl this turn. Alright, I think that's a good block for me. Oh, no? Okay, I guess they agreed. So now I'll try to bait with the Onulet. Doesn't really do anything. Now I'll play the Black Knight. I imagine this one's getting countered, even though it doesn't really do much either. Yeah. Well, I'm glad they spent the counter on one card that doesn't matter. Okay. It's kind of looking like we're in rough shape here because of these 1/4s. Almost all of our attacking happens on the ground, so I don't really know how we get through this. So this... Maybe if we attack with the elephant and they block with the tortoise. No, I just don't think we have attacks, really. And we kind of need to, or this thing's going to kill us. Guess we'll play the land. Don't have enough mana for the dragon thing yet, anyway. Attack with this, see if we can get them to block with the 1/4 that we want. They might go for a big stack block. We might be able to 2 for 2 them. It's not the 1/4 we wanted. Okay, well, I don't really think we're doing anything here until I kill that. Like, let me look at my deck. I just don't see how I win this game otherwise. I think I have to do this. Feels pretty bad. Like, we're not going to 14 them by using a Howl on this. We're not playing a Tron deck, so. And by the way, I do think the Tron decks are largely unplayable. Okay, 1 card in hand now. Gotta hope it's not the dragon. Oh, I think they punted by not doing anything with that. Interesting. This is another attacker, potentially, so it's not too bad. I wonder if they just missed the upkeep thing. I don't understand leaving this back, though. I said this was another attacker, but it really just bounces off of this. Like, they have so many good blockers here. It's pretty rough. We need evasion, and this thing is dead. Do we have any real flyers? We have the 1 Foul Spirit. Yikes. The Wrath doesn't look particularly good here either. Might just have to start coming in with everything. I guess Wicked Pact would give us some game. If we could have that Demonic Tutor back for it. Yeah, I don't understand the not attacking with anything when I have, like, no good attacks. But I guess I'll just say fine with that. Okay, now they go for the activation on upkeep. Makes sense. Gonna need our Crumble or something along those lines now. The Wicked Pact, I think, is still probably the best draw. Maybe what I was supposed to do is save the Howl until there's a turn where I can attack with everything. I have enough mana that, like, 1 or 2 of my creatures are unblocked. Like, say I attack all right now, they go block, 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 or something like that. And then I hit them for 4, and maybe have enough to Howl for lethal. I don't know. So we do take 4 damage here, which means if we draw the Wicked Pact, I mean, we're minus 9 life, right? So it's not ideal. Not sure why they're tapping black mana here. I think they just... Well, I think they can untap 1 of the lands, but I don't think they can untap the second one. So maybe that mana is going to take them off of something they need. That'd be good for me. Oh, they just missed 2 mana. Okay, Brass Man. Sure. There's an Ox. That almost is good. If not for this 1/1 regenerate thing. Just extremely obnoxious. Still play it out for sure. think we now have attacks with the 3 creatures with power 3 or greater. Maybe this has an attack too. No, I guess not really. So we have to make sure we don't die on the backswing too. This does have Swamp Walk, which means they can get me for 1. Okay, not a terrible draw. I think I need to come in with these 3. But let's see if we can attack with anything else here. They have 4 blockers. They can't profitably block everything. Like, I think this has to bounce off this. And then this, maybe, probably the 1/4 goes in front of this. Not sure what they do about this one, though. What does this do if we attack with this? Or even this? They can double block. Same here. I don't think I care. I think I'm just doing this. It's pretty aggressive, but I think we have to figure out some way to kill them. Yeah, so they are going for a double block, presumably. Or they could just single block. Sure. Yep. Okay, that changes nothing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, nothing to say about that other than it happens. Gonna regenerate this if they remember to. Yep. Both gain 2 life. Hope they don't counter this. If they have that stinky dragon, then I think we just lose. Okay, they're leveling this up. Sure, I think that's probably good for me. They don't have a 2-turn clock, so that's nice. Actually, I guess they do with the Swamp Walk on the Drowned. Ooh, that's pretty bad for me. Draw 4. Yikes. Power plant, okay. Wonder how we are able to get out of this. Sure. Cloud Spirit, that's pretty yucky. This doesn't have regenerate up anymore. Continue to confuse me. Weakness. I think we have to weakness the Cloud Spirit or we lose, but we get to do that post-combat, which means we might be able to trick them into some stuff here. So I think we're making a very similar attack to the one last turn. I think weakness was a very good draw for what it's worth. Yeah, I think we're doing this. Seems good. 2 blockers back. This is a lethal attack. They have to block, let's see, if they block the 4, that's 3, 6, 9, 11. So I guess it's not. The first 2 attackers aren't lethal, I should say. Brass Man there, sure. Okay, that's a pretty good block for me, I think. So we'll regenerate this. They take 7. They lose their thing. Now we kill this. And yeah, I don't think they can afford to attack here. If they do, this trades here. This can chump a 1-power thing if we want. I think they're in some trouble. Because now at 6 life, we just have a ton of things to try to kill them. So any 2 3-power creatures are lethal. This, and any creature are lethal. Sure. okay, you're not going to have Tron. At least it's not going to be relevant. Okay. And a Brass Man. Okay, let's see what they do here. I think they probably have to attack with a Clockwork Swarm. But again, they do not have a 2-turn clock on us. So that happens. They're at 0 cards in hand. Let's see what we draw here. It's going to be a big draw step. Forest. Okay, not quite as big of a draw step as I thought. But let's see what happens here. So I think we can just go right ahead to combat. I think we want to attack with this, 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 and this. They can only let one of those through. I don't think this attacks anymore now that they have the Clockwork Swarm. I think the 2/1's going to hang back. This is 4 creatures. They have 5 blockers. They only have to block 3. The Pixies bounce off this pretty nicely. Let's see. They only have to block 3. Am I putting myself dead on board by making this attack? So they can... What kind of bouncing can they do? No, they have to triple chump, or double chump, right? Effectively, so they can put the 1/4 here, but then all their other creatures are killed by this, so they have to lose at least 2 creatures, and we do have 3 blockers, so this attack works, which is nice. Not playing around them top decking anything at this point. They might be able to do it, but there's just no reason for us to worry about that. Okay, so now they have to block 1 of these. Sure. Okay, we'll regenerate. They lose 2 creatures. We lose 1. They go to 3 life. They can attack me for 3. If they attack with anything else, we have blockers. They need to draw something that wins them the game, or I think they lose. Tron is not going to do it, humorously enough. Okay, they did not attack. Are they dead on board? Ooh, Wicked Pact. Well, that one would not be great. That would instantly kill us. So, let's see here. And they just scooped it up. Okay, were they dead on board? So we attack with everything. They go to 1. Probably are going to die, but I don't think they were dead. I don't think they should have scooped. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're losing, but they're not dead. Alright, back with round number 3. Looks like we're probably going to be on the draw here. Yep. Demonic Tutor, that's a good one. And we'll lead on Swamp because we do have some nice double black 2-drops in the deck. Okay. Sure. It's pretty annoying for the sake of the Pixies, but we'll still play them out here. I assume we're going to spend Demonic Tutor next turn, but I don't really know what I want to get quite yet. 3/1 Flyer. Could Demonic Tutor a weakness? I think I'd rather Demonic Tutor the Wicked Pact. Seems pretty good. Play a Forest. Try not to give them a clue about what's going to happen here. Makes sense. Let's just hope they play like another Cloud Spirit or something. Vultures. Okay, so now we have a decision point, we can go for the Wicked Pact on these two. It does seem pretty good, and we don't lose any more life if we just do it right now. So I guess we're doing it. Not very mana efficient there, spending 2 mana on turn 3 and 3 mana on turn 4, but not the worst thing in the world either. Okay, another Temple Acolyte, that's totally fine. Now they can attack with 1. Yep. Let's just play the Scavenging Ghoul, I think, so they don't have any attacks with the 1/3s. Drawn a lot of forests here, and the opponent's mana screwed. They have 3 spells in hand. Okay, Primal Clay now. They just go with 2/2 Flyer. That's actually pretty annoying for me here. Yep. I think this is 100% to bring in the 2 damage to each Flyer matchup. Okay. Maybe it was incorrect to play the 2/2 first. I can just afford to take my extra 1 damage or whatever, because then I get to start hitting for 3. Yeah, that feels pretty bad in hindsight, but it's a 5-turn clock compared to a 6-turn clock with the Primal Clay. What kind of answers to that do we have? Weakness would work, Crumble would work. Let's see if they have something else obnoxious here. Might just be dead. Ooh, that is exactly what I was thinking of, actually. That and the Sarah Angel. Yikes. Ah, that was a good draw, though. Not instantly dead. Okay. Get a counter on this now, too. This just pop out of existence for a second as the counter went on. So that's what it looked like to me. Sure. It's bad for me, but unless they have a counter, it's not completely awful. Like, we need to deal with the Primal Clay. Otherwise, things are relatively stable here. Brassman. Okay, people really like their 1/3s, I guess. Okay. Get to drop some guys. Again, we still need an answer to the Primal Clay or we're just going to die, but the good news is we are cracking in for 6 now per turn. If we could just give this reach, that would be insane. Yep, looks like we're dying pretty darn soon. Okay, so we're in this weird spot where if we attack with both, they don't block. They can actually attack all and we're just dead on board. But I think we have to go for it. I'm almost positive we're dead here anyway, so. Okay, they're just taking it. Makes sense. I wonder if they just attack me with everything here. We're going to hold the land, of course, but I mean, we're at 5 life. There's not a whole lot we can do. Okay, they're not going to kill me. That's generous, I guess, but don't really think there are any cards that get me out of this spot either. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Alright. So, first things first, I'm going to bring in the Squall. Could think about a Sandstorm as well. I think most of their flyers had more toughness than that, though. I think we're going to bring in the Flying Carpet. even though it's pretty slow and not very good. And what do we want to take out? Pixies actually didn't seem very good, but I think it's probably still good enough. Maybe it's not. Guess I don't love the Yoshin soldier in this matchup either. Sure. I think this card's super slow. Right, 4 mana to play it, but then the ability to start giving things flying in this matchup I think is just a little too valuable for me not to play it. Let's play first. This is going to be a keep. Might be tutoring for a land here again. But we do have the Squall in hand, which is nice. Yeah, I think we're going to tutor up a swamp. So we can continue playing the game. In that case, we'll just be mana efficient. I'd like to spend the Squall before we go for the Foul Spirit. Okay. Squall target number 1. I think I'm going to get a bit greedy here, see if I can hit at least one more flyer with it. It's also not mana efficient, so... Okay. And again, if they just go for like a Primal Clay, I think I would be happy playing the Squall here. Vultures. Ooh, nice. Clean 3 for 1. Alright. Could go for the Howl, but I think we'd rather have the Knight. And then, between these guys, game should be just about wrapped up here. Could have an Air Elemental. That would be annoying. Cloud Spirit again. Okay, it's pretty good. I think they're just too far behind now. Okay. Committing to locking that down each turn. Yeah, I mean, attacking with both here. I think we play the Scavenging Ghoul first. Oops, let's not tap like that. Bluff a Giant Growth or a Crumble or whatever where we can. Oh, no, that was wrong. It's better to leave up the black mana to regenerate either the... oh, that one's not a zombie. This one is, though. Yeah, that wasn't a great way to tap. Okay, hit me for 3. Sure. Clay statue now. I think we're just attacking with everything. Gonna try to drop the statue here. Alternately... no, that's too much mana. Yeah, let's just do this. So they could pretty easily have a counter up here, but I think I'm fine with that. Nope. Okay, that's good for me. And they just had enough. All right. Well, it turns out the Squall is pretty good. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get them to overextend into it again, but we might. Think about a Weak Stone. It's good against the 1/1 flyers. Think about a Staff of Zagon. I do like the Flying Carpet in the matchup. I think the 4-mana artifacts in the sideboard are too slow. Not totally clear on that, but I think they just don't do enough. Weak Stone, I think, does more than the Staff, and this is still pretty bad against like the Air Elemental, and not to mention the fact that it's symmetrical. So I think we run it back. Okay, definitely keeping this hand. One Swamp gets us to the Black Knight. We have both colors of mana, Weakness, and Terror. Not to mention the Squall and the Plague. So just tons of removal in hand. Not an amazing draw, but we've got other draw steps. We've got outs. Swamp. Nice. Got there. See if they have a counter. They do not. Okay. Ooh, Zombie Master now. Which means we get to sandbag the Squall a little longer. Yeah, this hand is really coming together now. If we draw like one more land, we should be set for a really good period of time here. They just cannot afford to overextend into the Squall. Yeah, if they go... Yeah, 3/3 makes sense. We can still kind of get them here. We can Weakness that, turning it into a 1/2. Still holding up Terror. Yeah, I mean, if they made it into a Flyer, Squall would be bonkers, but this is still pretty good. They just go like Island, Air Elemental, and we get to Terror it. Grape Shot, Catapult. Okay, don't think I... Well, it's a 2/3 actually, that's kind of annoying. Yeah. Okay, Demonic Tutor now. I do think we actually get a forest here. Weird as that is, I think missing lands is just too bad. So we get a forest, play it, continue to hold up the Terror. And I think we're going to try to get them with the Dakmor Plague, maybe. Sure, yeah. I mean, that's another good hit for the Plague. Taking only 2 damage here. Okay. Continue to get a little bit greedy. Just dropping a 3/4. Do take some beats. It's going to be bad for us if they go Air Elemental. They do not. Okay, that's going to be pretty good for us then. Wicked Pact now. Yeah, I think it's time for the Plague. So we get to attack with these. Maybe a little suspicious that we're holding this back. 2/3 should go on, 2/2 first strike. Let's see what they do about this one. Probably just take damage. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, pretty happy about this. We still got in our 2 damage. And now we get to Wrath their board. Alright. Low life totals. I don't think the Wicked Pact is going to come into play in this game. Air Elemental, sure. Now we have the Terror for that. If we draw a land, we're in amazing shape. Not a land, unfortunately, but still pretty good. Okay, they're dying pretty soon here. We can Wicked Pact down to 1 life if we want. Okay, they could have a Just Fate for me. Don't think I care about that. I think they're basically dead here. No Just Fate. Could have a counter. Felt like they had a creature counter earlier. Nope. Okay, 2 lethal threats. I think that's game. Nice. Not the best finish for this deck. I think this deck easily could have gone 3-0 if we got a little bit luckier in round 1. But that's how it goes sometimes. A lot of variance in this format. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon.